Hey, you're here with Alex, back again with another review. This is from Lekato, and this is going to be their new guitar 10-watt rechargeable battery-powered amp. Lekato reached out to me to go ahead and bring you guys this review. The demo unit itself, on the SKU, it does have the name Lekato, but you don't see Lekato on the actual amplifier. It does have a badge here that lights up in a nice RGB, and it just says music and change life with music. Currently, you can get these amplifiers on Amazon. I'll have a link down below. It's not an affiliate link, but just helping you guys out. At the current time, it is at $49.99, and if you have Amazon Prime, you get free shipping. So out of the box, it does come with a USB-C to USB-A rechargeable cable. You do have to find like a power brick to connect it to, or you can use either a USB port that's available or your computer, PC, Mac, as long as it is hitting the 5 volts. So the amplifier is a 2-channel amp. It features two 2-inch speakers in stereo. It has your typical 3-band EQ, your gain and your volume controls, and both channels are going to share that. One effect, it comes with delay, and you do have a delay effect blend knob, and you also have the amount of delays you would like as well. So that's pretty nice. It's not just a one feature time-based effect. It also includes Bluetooth capabilities, not to mention it does have an auxiliary cable input and a headphone input in the back. The recharging time for this is going to be related to how you're charging it. If you have it attached to one of like the fast charge bricks, if you are recharging it through like your PC or your Mac, or even like a standard USB recharging port. It all fluctuates on how many volts that it's receiving. Depending on the percentage of battery life that's left in the amplifier, when you're recharging it, it can be anywhere from like 1 to even 5 hours. So keep that in mind. So the box states that it's going to get anywhere from 5 to 10 hours. I was playing around with this guy and I got roughly around 7.5 hours, and that was also fluctuating between the Bluetooth jamming and then just standalone by itself. Do you take into consideration that if you are using the Bluetooth at all times, you are going to shorten the battery life? Here I have an SM57 going through one of the speakers. I do have an Ibanez S540, that's a 1989. These have the stock Ibanez pickups, so they're pretty close to like a DiMarzio distortion and a PAF. So do keep in mind that they are not like super high output like an active pickup, but it has just enough to get some good sounds. So the clean channel is probably the best channel on this guy here. You're able to do a lot of leads, and it's very clean, as it should be. You could get it to distort when you max out the gain, or if you boost up the volume too high. And that is just something about like these battery powered and mini amplifiers, from anything from like a little honeytone to like the small little black star flies, is that if you're going to be cranking these guys up, it's going to sound pretty bad with the clipping. Naturally, with the delay, it does sound kind of weird. Initially on the first essence of the repeat, it kind of has this like distorted muffling kind of processing that's going on with the effect, which is kind of weird. But I mean, for the price point of what it is, you're gonna have to deal with it. So moving on to the distortion channel, it's pretty lackluster. The treble side, it's pretty tinny. So I would say go anywhere from like the 12 o'clock position to even like completely taking out the treble when you're using it. It doesn't have too much sustain. So if you're playing anything like metal, I'd probably max out the gain, and that's probably the sweet spot in getting any kind of like sustain out of your single line notes. Now going to the last feature of this little amplifier, and that's the Bluetooth playback. And I did not have any issues playing any of like my music through these 2-inch speakers. Granted, if you crank it up, it's going to distort. There is a sweet spot of loudness that you do have, and it's pretty clear. It's not like the best that you'd get out of like a Bose or something, but I mean, don't expect the best sound out of these little amplifiers. However, if you're comparing to like what a lot of people do with playback on their smartphones and their iPhones, it's pretty good. So you got to remember that these things are pretty small, so you don't expect like amazing sound. So this is going to be for the person who is looking for a dedicated practice amp that's portable, on the go. It's really light to take with you in a bag, messenger bag, or whatnot. Great for jamming. So if you are in a band and you're practicing in the green room, it's got enough volume to play with, and as well as like with backing tracks. And it's really nice that you can really dial in both your guitar volume and also the backing track volume. This isn't for a person who wants the best tone in the world and who are very particular with like the way that their effects sound. Like I said, the delay, it works. It sounds kind of weird in the clean channel. It's not as much in the distortion channel because the distortion is kind of masking that kind of like artificial delay, but it's pretty good, you know. Practice amps are meant to be practicing. You know, if you want to play with like an amazing amp, go to your typical guitar rig, or even, you know, some of your plugins on your computer. They also have a 5-watt variation, which is more of a stripped down version of this, but I feel like this is going to be the version that most people would want. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, hit a like for this video. If you do have any more comments, go ahead and link any of them down below, and I'll see you guys there. Until next time, we'll see you.